Officials gathered on Boulevard East Friday afternoon in support of Angelie's law, which would impose stricter regulations on jitney buses that travel through New Jersey. The topic has become a hot-button issue ever since 8-month-old North Bergen native Angelie was killed in a bus accident that occurred near Donnelly Park in West New York back in July. West New York Mayor Felix Roque spoke out to support the cause, as did the Amalgamated Transit Union that represents NJ Transit drivers.
We are here for just one purpose. The purpose is safety and to secure that this does not occur again to one of our residents or anybody in the state of New Jersey. I am very happy and proud to be here and supporting Mayor Sacco, Senator Sacco initiative, the Assemblywoman Angelie, and now the future Speaker of the House, Mr. Vincent Prieto, here also, to say that we are with you. We are here with the Amalgamated, and it's hard for me to pronounce that word, Union, Transit Union. You have the support of the town of West New York, and you have my personal support, because the utmost importance for all of us is the safety of our residents. And we cannot and we will not allow another tragedy like this to occur in our town again.
My name is Pablo, and I represent most of the bus drivers and that work for New Jersey Transit that drive up and down the streets. I grew up not too far from here on 48th Street. I have two kids, a 5-year-old, which I strolled many times right down this very sidewalk, and a 9-month-old baby girl, just like Angelie was. So when this tragedy happened, I was not too far away from here. We came by, we saw what happened, and that day hit me, and I prayed for the family, and I said, if one day I could do anything about it to prevent this from happening again, that I would. That's why I'm here today in support of the bill 3993, and I urge all the legislators to please come out and support this bill.
Leading the charge to educate the public on the issue were Assembly Speaker-elect Vinny Prieto and ATU State Business Agent Ray Greaves, who was also the 3rd Ward Councilman in Bayonne. Prieto and Greaves spoke to HCTV one-on-one after the press conference ended. So, Assemblyman, can you just tell us a little bit about the particulars of Angelie's law?
Well, what we're trying to do here is trying to make sure a tragedy like this never happens again, number one. But the bottom of it is we need to make sure these jitneys and commuter buses are regulated. The same as, New Jersey Transit has drivers that are properly trained, make sure that the vehicles are properly serviced, and that they're operating in a safe manner. So when our residents step onto these vehicles, we know it's a safe environment. We need to make sure that they're not talking on their phones, they're not texting and driving, that things like that lead to accidents that can cause something of this magnitude. Should never happen. One life lost of a little angel should never happen. So, and a parent should never bury one of their children. So it's incredible that it takes something to this to come to light. So we need to work hard to make sure we can put legislation that it's enforceable and doable.
Mr. Greaves, could you just tell us a little bit why you decided to call the press conference with the Amalgamated Transit Union today?
Well, I want to thank you for being here today, because this is an issue that has been important to the Amalgamated Transit Union for many years now. We know the ticking time bombs that are operating behind us, this jitney bus industry. We need regulations here in New Jersey to address the issue. We saw the tragedy here with Angelie. We thought it was time to get on board and come out in the forefront and push to ensure that this legislation is approved in the state of New Jersey.
So I know we're talking about stricter legislation. Tell me a little bit on what exactly the particulars are on that.
In New Jersey Transit, any bus operation, you're required to have a CDL license. When you have a CDL license, your hours are logged in every day, every night. You're tracked how many hours you work in a week. These operators that are operating these lines are probably putting millions and millions of dollars into the owners of these fly-by-night companies. And very little money is going into the operator's pocket. Unions were formed to fight for a 40-hour work week, weekends off, some downtime. These operators, I don't know how many hours they're working in a week. They could be working up to 80 hours a week, not being checked. When you step foot on a jitney bus, you don't know if that jitney bus operator has a background check, like New Jersey Transit bus operators are required to do by law. You don't know if that jitney bus operator has a valid license. There are there's really no oversight. We've seen it time and time again when the County of Hudson, when the municipalities in Hudson County have done spot checks on these vehicles. Most have been ticketed. I know in Bayonne, for instance, there were 169 violations in a week's span. 169 violations. Those violations cover lack of license, lack of insurance, improper operations, unsafe vehicles. Vehicles have been towed off the road because they're so unsafe. And that's why I call them ticking time bombs.
I'm John Hudson with Hudson County TV. For more information, log on to HudsonCountyTV.com.